Thank you for having me, Mark. The Middle East and the wider Arab world are in a historical moment that is characterized by unprecedented war and bloodshed, at least within the context of the Arab-Israeli conflict. So now, of course, is the most needed political initiatives and diplomatic initiatives to de-escalate the situation are of utmost important and essentially necessary. So we have seen a very mixed results in this regards because diplomatic initiatives to de-escalate conflicts and defuse them in the Middle East over the past year and a half, I guess, or 1.2 years, has been led and dominated primarily by the United States. We have seen episodes of success in Lebanon, periodic success. Of course, I have to remind everyone because what we see in Lebanon is a very fragile truce that is supposed to last for 60 days. And if the Israeli forces do not withdraw from Lebanon, then by those 60 days, then we are at risk of Lebanon is at risk of descending back into war. In Gaza, the record is much worse. They have had multiple initiatives that were supported and facilitated by Egyptian and Qatari mediation. However, Israel's uncooperative approach to negotiations and very stringent approach to negotiations has failed each and every of these initiatives. And now we have a very promising initiative on the table that has been accepted by Hamas. Hamas has given unprecedented concessions at the moment. However, Israel still remains very stringent, and whenever Hamas gives a concession, they always lay down another unreasonable new condition. And of course, that's not a way of showing any sincerity in negotiations or any genuine will to find a peaceful settlement to the ongoing armed conflict.
And do you think that events in Syria could significantly influence de-escalation efforts in Gaza and Lebanon, potentially shaping the broader prospects for peace in the region?
Unfortunately, it is adversely affecting them because what happened in Syria drew away attention to an extent from what was going on in Lebanon and what's still going on in Gaza, even though they are all interconnected. And actually, what happened in Syria is emboldening Israeli aggression further. As you see, Israel is creating its own new crisis in Syria with its expansion and its land grabs and its airstrikes in there. As we have seen, you and your guests have discussed it in the previous segment. And right now, they are being very stringent and uncooperative and stiff in their negotiations in Gaza, and the conflict is still going on. The ethnic cleansing in northern Gaza is still going on. The complete annihilation of Jabalia and Beit Lahia and Beit Hanun are almost, it's almost done actually. They're not even underway. They're almost done in implementing the so-called General's Plan, which is a genocidal plan of ethnic cleansing and nothing less. And of course, in Lebanon, even though Lebanon has been in a state of ceasefire for about almost a month now, Israel has violated the ceasefire daily, expanding their territories of control further, entering more villages, demolishing hundreds of buildings throughout the past month inside southern Lebanon in many of the villages, and even carrying out airstrikes against Hezbollah targets, and even targeting the Lebanese army on more than one occasion and killing soldiers. So apparently Israel's understanding of a ceasefire is that you implement the ceasefire, the other side doesn't shoot, but I will keep shooting and I will keep advancing. So it's a very flawed understanding of ceasefire that demonstrates Israel's forceful approach to diplomacy, I'm afraid.
Well, let me just ask you about that, Dr. Osman. If Israel, as you say, which is quite evident, is continuing to break the ceasefire conditions and disregards the ceasefire, is there any use in it continuing past its 60 days?
I think it will continue. That Hezbollah will not take the decision to end the ceasefire because they know that now they are in a very vulnerable position. after the fall of the Assad regime and the severing of the land bridge between Iran and Hezbollah in Lebanon, as in addition to the damages and the casualties they have endured in the past war with Israel, they are in no position to engage once more in a full-scale war with Israel. But on the other hand, Israel might find it a perfect chance in order to destroy what is left of Hezbollah's capabilities and impose new realities on the ground and reach an agreement that is even more favorable. You imagine that this last agreement brokered by the U.S., this is not enough for the Israelis, even though it gave them every single condition they have asked for and every single guarantee they have asked for, and Hezbollah has given all the concessions they were asked of for over a year or more, and then some. So I think the Israelis might break it. However, and this depends on whether the incoming U.S. administration is willing to apply actual pressure on Israel and not be toothless and incapable like the Biden administration. And if Trump decides to be different, and that's highly unlikely, of course, then maybe we might see a different results. However, I think that there is a 50% probability that Lebanon might descend back into conflict because Israel will take advantage of the weakening of the entire Iranian axis in the region with the fall of the Syrian government of President Bashar al-Assad and the collapse of his army. And also Israel's control of Jabal al-Sheikh, which is a strategic area that gives it strategic leverage over Syria and Lebanon. So you can imagine how dire the situation has become over there.